I'm Steve Walker Duncan, and I'm on a quest. As a professional chef for 25 years and an instructor at the Camosun College Culinary Arts program, I truly believe we have some of the best food in the world right here on the West Coast. Join me in discovering some of these culinary treasures. You would not believe the things I do for this show. Here we are in beautiful Osoyoos, BC, running the half-court marathon. This is fabulous. We're going to run 21 kilometers through the vineyards, tasting wine, having a great time. I can't wait. We'll see you at the finish line. Though the event does attract some serious runners, most people seem to be here for some serious fun. The costume competition is as keenly fought as the race itself. The course winds through the beautiful South Okanagan vineyards, with refreshment stops at several local wineries, offering both water and wine. Inspired by the world-famous Marathon de Médoc in Bordeaux, this is only the second year for this event, and it's a sellout. I'm not surprised. Everyone's having a great time, and we all get to sample many of these local wines. I've never run in a half marathon before, or any marathon for that matter, and I didn't intend to this time. But CBC meteorologist Claire Martin challenged me to take part.
We lost Steve! Send paramedics!
Okay, so I couldn't quite keep up the pace all the way and slowed down to enjoy the scenery. But I wasn't the only one, and at least I made it to the finish. Which was better than that tomato. They ran straight past the finish line and had to be called back. Claire, the things you get me to do.
I know.
Cooking in the studio was much easier.
But you have to admit, if you're going to run a marathon or a half marathon, you've got to do it right.
The wine. Oh my God, that was
Spectacular.
fabulous. That was awesome. The scenery, the wine, the camaraderie. So Claire, for this intense suffering we've done today,
Yeah.
I've got a challenge for you.
Oh.
Would you like to join me tomorrow on the Kettle Valley Railway?
No. Really?
Honestly.
I'd love to.
And you know what? Mine is all downhill.
All downhill.
From top to bottom.
Good. Because I got more than a wedgie going now. I actually need a soft one for tomorrow.
We'll get the extra padded seat for you.
Nice. Thank you.
Thanks, Claire. The race over. I'm back in Osoyoos at the spectacular new Watermark Beach Resort to meet Ingrid Jarrett.
I'm president of an organization that's made up of family farms. We have 135 family farms and the first and only organic mobile abattoir in the province of British Columbia. What the end result has been is that you and I can go to a small family farm and buy their poultry that they raise directly on their farm, and it's never been anywhere but on that farm, and now I can feed it to my family.
It's bringing food back to the community that never should have left in the first place.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So what is it that makes Osoyoos such a wonderful place for people to grow food, wine, fruits, all these great products?
It's a small community surrounded by growers. Many different nationalities, so we have this really complexity of flavors and cultures that are intermingled. It adds such a richness to our community.
A lot of our philosophy here at Watermark is really nice wine country cuisine. We try to keep things simple. The basis for the wine bar downstairs was charcuterie, shared plates, cheeses, meats. Currently on our menu right now we have copa, which is an air-dried pork product, and then we do Sydney Island venison. They do their call twice a year out at Sydney Island. They're pretty much the only ones that are allowed to do it.
Yeah, it's hard to get venison, may I?
Yeah, definitely. It's it's so fantastic.
Oh, that's just so mellow and delicate and beautiful flavor.
And then I have beef bersola, which they make in-house. They cure it, marinate it, and then start air drying it. I use mostly BC cheeses. Yep. So I do have, right now currently I have a lot of little qualicum on my menu.
Yep. Well, we know well from the islands.
Yes. We also use Salt Spring Island, natural pastures.
Yep.
So basically, it's just a plethora of whatever they want. I like to make it simple. I like to make it fresh.
After all that exercise, I need a rest. And I'm at the perfect place. Summerland Waterfront Resort. It's even got its own nature reserve. I'm here to meet Chef Paul Ciccone of the aptly named Local Lounge and Grill. But there's time to look around first. Summerland is easy to miss as you shoot through on the highway, but it's well worth stopping. Its small, Tudor-style downtown is friendly and old-fashioned, and still moves at a slower pace. In the countryside just outside Summerland is Valentine Farm and the Vinegar Works, a perfect example of a small local producer.
Our vinegar is made from everything on our farm. We don't sell anything that we don't grow. We grow the grapes, we make the wine, then in turn we make the vinegar, and then when we make our infused vinegars, we use fruit only that we grow here at our farm.
I'm being shown around the farm by Kim Stansfield and John Gordon.
So you use all of your grapes are made for vinegar, or grown for vinegar?
Well, not all of them. We actually do put aside a substantial amount for wine for personal consumption.
Right, as you should. John, you grow very specific grape varietals for your vinegars, don't you?
We do, Steve. We have actually a couple. Gewürztraminer is one, and the other one that's our white grape, and then the red one is Pinot Meunier.
Right.
And they're productive. The Gewürztraminer is a very productive variety. The Pinot Meunier is a lovely grape also, and so.
And the Pinot Meunier is not a well-known grape, is it? It's a fairly unusual one. I'd never heard of it before.
It's unusual, but you've drunk it before because in the Champagne region of France,
right.
They use 3 varieties to make champagne. It's required by law,
yeah.
And the varieties are Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, and Pinot Meunier.
Oh.
So it's kind of it's a champagne grape for sure.
Back in the kitchen at the Local Lounge and Grill, Chef Paul Ciccone is preparing a delicious warm spinach salad.
Here we have fresh rhubarb from Green Hills Farm in Summerland, lamb bacon from Two Rivers Meats in North Vancouver. It's the baby organic spinach, again from Green Hills Farm, king oyster mushrooms, shimiji mushrooms, and wild watercress from Okanagan Falls. And we have the wild morel mushrooms in the back here. I grew up cooking in Vancouver, so right. It's a little bit different where you're not really connected to the farmers and really touching the product and pulling it out of the ground. So, so being up in the Okanagan for the last 10 years, it's been fantastic. Really getting to meet the farmers and finding the roots of where everything comes from, and so that's definitely exciting to be a part of that.
So let's get started.
Okay, excellent. I'm gonna grab some extra virgin olive oil.
Okay.
Some shallots, a little bit of garlic, the mushrooms. I'll turn up the heat a little bit on that one, and I'm gonna add the rhubarb to that.
So just thinly slice the rhubarb?
Yeah, just thinly sliced.
May I just try a little?
Yeah,
piece
definitely.
Of that?
Yeah. It's fantastic.
And good rhubarb is tart, but it's not bitter. I mean, that's beautiful.
Exactly.
It's got a nice clean flavor.
No, it's great. I'm going to turn this pan on here, and I'm going to saute the lamb bacon in that one.
Okay.
Did a little bit of chicken stock just to deglaze the pan.
Okay.
And then the white wine vinegar from Vinegar Works. A little splash of that. And add a touch of honey.
That's a beautiful mix. That really is. It's got the sweet, it's got the sour, it's got the richness.
Oh,
that's beautiful. That's going to be fabulous.
Nice. Grab some of the spinach here. Watercress.
So the dressing's still warm, so
Yep.
it'll just lightly wilt everything a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. I won't toss it immediately. I'll just kind of
let some of that heat come out of it.
Yeah, exactly. The lamb bacon.
Oh, I can taste this already. That crispy bacon, those chewy mushrooms. That's fabulous. That's absolutely fabulous. Paul, that's an awesome salad.
Excellent.
we're just going to take our cycle trip up onto the Kettle Valley Railway. Can we take this with us for our picnic?
By all means, by all means.
Paul, thank you very much. This
Excellent.
has been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you for coming.
Well, Claire, this looks absolutely wonderful out here, isn't it?
At least it's not raining.
The sun is out.
All right, time to get on the bikes. Let's go for a ride.
Thank you very much, Joe.
This is like-
Well, I'm here with Claire Martin and Joe from Monashee Cycle Tours. Would you like to join me on this cycle ride down the Kettle Valley Railway?
Only if there's wine and food involved.
I think we can probably make that happen.
That's front.
That's the front. The little lip is at the front. Although I could have said put it on backwards, but that would
You
be
see that?
cruel.
You would have let me go all the way down the hill, wouldn't you, with a hat on backwards?
Okay, all aboard.
Blimey! don't fall off.
Just remember, Claire, it's all downhill from here. And that's the great thing about this trail. It really is all downhill. We're cycling part of the famous Kettle Valley Railway. And because it's a disused railway, there are no steep hills. Just a gently sloping trail through the stunning scenery of the Naramata Bench, all the way down to Penticton at the bottom. Well, Claire, time for a pit stop?
Time for a press up. And possibly one of the best views in the Okanagan.
absolutely,
Right.
absolutely.
Okay, what have we got here?
Okay, what do we got here? Well, our friends down at the Summerland Watermark Resort gave us this beautiful salad.
I love the way you arrange everything. There's an OCD thing that I just love.
You just have to have things in the right place.
Yes, you do.
How it is.
Because you know, when you're on the side of a mountain, it really is important that everything looks
Absolutely. There's nothing, it's all about standards. Bon appetit.
looks fantastic.
It'll be the first time I've spilled things down.
Okay.
Ready?
Mm.
That's beautiful. I mean, just so many things going on.
For somebody who cooks without a kitchen, you're not bad, you know. I think you could get a job doing this.
You think so?
I think so. I think you might have a career in it.
Now, after that little jaunt through the vineyards of Osoyoos and Oliver, I'm ready for some more pasta. So I'm absolutely delighted to have the officer in charge of search and rescue in Victoria, James Perotti. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
And we have a little tradition here at Flavours,
Yeah.
and we would like to present you with our rookie chef apron,
Well, thank you very much.
so that you keep your uniform nice and spotless.
Sounds fantastic. And in return, I came bearing gifts as well. A hat. A Joint Rescue Coordination Center Victoria hat,
That's fabulous. Thank you.
manned by the Air Force and the Coast Guard.
I will put that on and follow food safe protocol.
Oh my goodness, it looks awesome.
There we go. How's that? So, first, have you ever made pasta before?
No, not right from scratch. I tend to use the box stuff.
Right. Well, fresh pasta really is remarkably easy because it consists of a couple of simple ingredients: flour, a pinch of salt, a few eggs, and a little olive oil.
Perfect.
That's it, really. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to break these eggs in here. And then, do you want to have a go?
Okay.
All right. There we go. So just give it a good sharp wrap on the side. Okay, not quite so sharp.
Okay.
Yeah. There we go.
And you.
And you just kind of give it a little squeeze and the whole thing falls apart and there you go. Hey, you're
Perfect.
an expert.
All right.
Easy. No problem at all. Now, we're just going to give it a little bit of olive oil, about a tablespoon's worth. Give this guy a little bit of a mix.
Thickening up nicely.
Thickening up nicely. Once it gets to that point, then you can get in with your hands here. So just don't be shy, get your hands right in there and basically just knead it all together. And if your hands get a little sticky, all you do, we've got some extra flour here.
Okay.
Just basically dry off your hands and rub them together and all that stuff will come right off. So how long have you been with Joint Rescue?
Well, I've spent a total of 7 years there. 5 years I was a coordinator, so air and marine, doing the air side.
Right.
Then I left. I went to Winnipeg for a few years.
Okay.
And got promoted, and I came back here 2 years ago as the officer in charge.
Nice. That's looking pretty good there, James. So we've
Okay.
got a nice soft dough there, and we're just going to cut that into a couple of slightly smaller pieces. Let's just flatten that down a bit. Open up the blades, and here we go, little noise. And what this is doing is actually kneading the dough.
Okay.
So we can put that through there a couple of times, and every time it runs through there, it's stretching and kneading the dough and developing the gluten in the dough for us.
So, if I didn't have one of these fancy guys, could I just use a rolling pin?
You could absolutely just do with a rolling pin. So what I'm going to do, Jerry, I'll get you to throw that through a couple times. Basically, we're just going to keep putting it through, and then fold it in half, and then drop it through sideways. So we're kind of rotating it through the machine. There we go. You want to throw that through there a couple of times. While you're doing that, I'm going to get the other piece ready. And I think one more time for that one should be good for you, and then I'll do this piece.
Okay.
And then we can start doing some assembly. Right.
And then just leave it.
Okay. So now what we're going to do, we're going to start, this has got a little dial on here which adjusts the thickness.
Okay.
So now we're going to start bringing the rollers closer together.
Okay.
So that we can actually make our pasta. So we'll drop them one at a time, because each time we do it, we're going to catch it. And this will take it down to a really paper thin thickness. Drop another one. Okay, I think you're standing there doing nothing, James. You're going to have to grab, if you want to go under, just take that like so. There we go, and just let that run out. We're going to put these through one more after this.
Holy moly, we're going to run out of counter space.
That's okay, we can just let her hang off the end there. And here we go with this one. Maybe just put your hands upside down and just sort of spread your fingers. There you go, and that can support that supports the weight quite nicely. There we go. Now we're going to drop this down one more notch, and this will be our last pass.
Okay.
Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Got it?
It's just like plucking somebody out of the sea with a helicopter, isn't it?
Exactly.
Perfect. Okay. So there's our pasta all rolled out. Now what we're going to do is we're going to start making our raviolis here.
Perfect.
We've got some roasted squash, which I've just seasoned with salt and pepper, a little bit of oil, put it in a pan, roast it off, a little bit of salt and pepper. That's it, real simple.
How long do you roast it for?
Depending on how big you cut it. I mean, I cut these down to probably, a dice about an inch wide. That took about 25 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. So then we're just going to put a little daub of that on our pasta. Okay. And I'm going to let you carry on with that down that first one. There we go.
Okay.
So what's the most interesting or the most memorable rescue you've been involved in?
The very first search and rescue mission that I was ever involved with was Swiss Air 111.
Okay.
Back in 1998. I was in Nova Scotia at the time. A huge operation. Was so dramatic that it stuck with me, and I thought to myself, this is what I want to do. Yeah. This is exciting stuff, and I want to be involved in it.
It's marvelous work you do. It's absolutely fantastic. So if you want to carry on with that front one, what I've done is I've just put a little piece of blue cheese on the top of each one, and this is just sort of a blue Stilton. So I'm going to keep going with those now. And of course, traveling all over the world, it sounds like you've hit most of the world. I guess
well, I haven't made it to South America yet, but I've been to a lot of other parts of the world. Not always the nicest parts. I've seen
I guess
some
you're in there when things are not always at their best.
Yeah, Rwanda in 1994 was a rough part of town. Yeah. It was a rough place. Somalia in 1992 and 93 was, again, a bit of a challenging time. Yeah. But you know what? I wouldn't have missed it for the world. It was exciting. Yeah. And we got a sense that we were helping people. We were bringing food, and we were bringing water and medicine.
Now I've got a little bit of chopped bacon here. So I've just I cooked this in the oven.
It smells so nice.
Just so that it's starting to render. And if we do that, just a little pinch of bacon on the top of each one, and you can kind of just push it right in so it sort of stays up on the top there. You can probably see how this is going to start to come together now that we're going to put the top on with our other piece of pasta.
Yeah.
I'm just going to start at the back here. And basically what I want to do is just drop my top layer of pasta right over everything else. And you want to try and get the air out. If you get too much air in here, then they float when you put them in the water, and they don't cook very well. So I'm just trying to sort of press around each little pile of squash as we move our way down that line. Okay, so now what we want to do with this is we just want to really work these in. If you just sort of cup your hands around that little piece of squash there, and the idea is you want a nice seam. Perfect. And then we're just going to use this guy. So we're using the flat, the dull end. Okay. Just to sort of seal it. Just so you don't want to press through, but you just want to sort of crimp it so that it's got a good seal there. This cutter's slightly bigger than that one, so you just want to make sure you're outside of that little crimp mark. I'll just do these last couple here, and then you've got your, and then we're just ready to cook them. There we go. And this time you can pull right through, and then we'll take the excess off here. Now fresh pasta cooks much quicker than dried, so it doesn't take a long time. I mean, literally there's 3-4 minutes in there is all it requires.
And they're all floating now?
They're all floating, so that tells us that the starches are cooked. So there's our raviolis all cooked.
Okay.
So then we've got just a nice mix of salad greens, just a nice mix of green stuff here. So we're just going to give that a little bit of dressing. And we'll take a couple of our raviolis and just lay them in the center of the plate. And then on there, we'll just take a little pinch of our salad.
Oh, very nice.
And then we'll give ourselves just a little more dressing, because now we want a little dressing on the raviolis. And again, just a whisper. So that's our roasted squash, blue cheese and bacon ravioli. And here we go. Thank you for being on.
Oh, thank you. Oh my goodness, that tastes
I think that works. I think that works okay. And there we have it. There's some of the flavors of the South Okanagan. And here's a quick and easy emulsified vinaigrette. I've got a little bit of Dijon mustard, a little drop of vinegar, about 2 tablespoons worth, salt, a little bit of black pepper. Just mix those 3 together. And then slowly add in your oil. 3 parts oil to 1 part vinegar while whisking continuously. And there we go. A delicious little vinaigrette in no time at all. Well, after all that running and that pasta making, now we have to pair some beautiful wines with it. Rod Phillips, Liquor Plus, what have you got for us today?
Well, this is I love the really rich cheese, and it's a great summertime as well as springtime, and any time really is a great meal. So what I thought I'd bring out was something like the Bluefield Riesling was the first one I would go with.
Beautiful bottle too.
It is a great bottle. Now this is a German Riesling, but it's a little bit lighter on the palate, but it's a little bit sweeter. So what I wanted to do is bring out that essence of that stronger cheese.
Of course, the blue cheese will just pair beautifully with this, won't it? Wow, that is really nice, isn't it? That's a nice...
Isn't that fantastic? And the trick with this is to not serve it too cold.
Right.
Just when it's got a little condensation on it right now, let that come off a bit and then it'll be perfect. You'll get all the fruit out of it. Now the next one we're going to try is the Cagliacanto. Now this is Cagliacanto, because it goes with ravioli. Ravioli Cagliacanto. This comes from the La Mancha area of Spain. This is a blend of Tempranillo, Merlot, and Syrah. And in that area of Spain, you get a really juicy Tempranillo, you get a rich, soft Merlot, but you get this meaty, this deep, earthy...
It's like port.
Yeah, exactly, kind of Syrah. This texture, again, we've spoken in the past about how the texture of a wine works with the meal as well, not just the flavors.
Yeah.
Now, this is one of the best out of BC. This is their older vintage. Now, they currently have the 2009 out. This is the 2008. And I think that extra year just adds a little bit of depth. And you can get it right off the nose.
Right off the nose.
Smokiness that will go, again, really well with the blue cheese.
That's got the complexity, the levels of flavor that will marry with beautifully.
Exactly. And if you just put both of them on your palate for just a couple seconds, let the layers wash over you, and you'll get an amazing experience.
Well, Rod, anything you do with us is an amazing experience. Thank you once again.
It's all because of you.
Yeah, absolutely. As always, from Flavours of the West Coast, thank you very much.